Hi, and welcome back to Friends, Loves, and Life. I'm David Bigor. Before we get to today's interview, I want to just talk about a couple of things. I I went to see Superman this weekend with my husband, my son, and some friends. And I gotta say, oh, a little thumbs up just appeared on my screen. And I gotta say, you know what? I absolutely love the 2013 Superman with Henry Cavill, Man of Steel, 2013's Man of Steel. And I think it's amazing. I think it's a great movie. The cinematography is amazing. And, I gotta love Henry Cavill walking out of the ocean shirtless. I mean, there is nothing better than that. It's, that's it. That's my Superman right there. But this Superman with David Corenswet was good. It was really good. It was really good. I got to give it to James Gunn. I love the direction he's going in. It's more comic book like. The only issue that I can take with it is that I thought Superman's parents were just too simple, but the rest of it I thought was really, really good. And what I'm really looking forward to is Supergirl with Millie Alcock from House of Dragon. I mean, you just see a moment with her and I love it. I love the feeling that you got about her character in that quick moment. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing I want to talk about is that I was introduced on Substack to a poet, Andrea Gibson. They recently passed away, and I had never heard of them, and I was kind of shocked that I hadn't, but I've been spending a couple of days reading their poetry, reading their writings on Substack, and watching their YouTube channel. And I gotta say, wow, I'm kind of blown away. And I'm of the belief that art and artists come into your life when you're ready for them to see and hear the message that they're presenting. And if you get a chance, you should check out Andrea Gibson. They are a light. I don't know how else to describe them. They are a light, and their writing is amazing. So you can find them on Substack, andreagibson.substack.com, or on YouTube, search for Andrea Gibson. You won't be disappointed. Okay, let's get to today's guest. Every city has its characters, and I love this character. He opens hearts. He says shit that will make you think and go, oh, okay. My friend Jeff, he's a flirt with a conscience. He's a trainer with a tender streak. He's a man who's lived a life, and he knows that the best way forward is straight through the fire. I think you're going to like this guy because he's fun, he's funny, and he's very introspective. He makes me smile every day when I see him. This is the kind of conversation that feels like you are sitting on the porch with an old friend, that you're just hanging out, chit-chatting, and talking about life. So let's get to it. Here is my conversation with my friend, Jeff Heinkel. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, David. How are you today?
I'm fantastic.
I love to hear that.
I was thinking about how you and I met at the gym and how your how shall I put this? Aggressive flirtation.
Oh my God, that's what I was going to say. I grew up a very thin, scared, picked on boy. I think a lot of us did,
Mm-hmm.
whether we're thin or overweight, as many were. So when you finally work through everything and get that confidence, it's not an ego thing. It's just a fun thing. You realize we have such a finite time here on earth, and I just go and have fun most of the time, and yeah, I flirted with you. And sometimes I flirt, well, you've seen me. Sometimes I flirt with an end game, and sometimes I flirt just to flirt. And for you, it was just a flirt, you know, there was no end
Yeah,
game.
well, but one of the things I like about you is that you don't take it so seriously.
No,
You're having fun. It's all in fun.
right.
I mean, I think there are people who probably take it the wrong way, but
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
mean,
There's people who don't look at me at the gym anymore. Were
Uh-huh.
you there? I told you about the guy who we won't use his real name to protect his innocence, but he was
anonymity.
there at the gym, and I was talking to him about his tattoos and stuff like that. And then I was training, and he came up and stood next to us, and he was working out. And I go, "Hey, good to see you again." And he said, "You're Jeff, right?" And I went, "No, sir." And that went over like a lead balloon. Oh, he won't even look at me anymore.
Oh my
He
God.
won't even look at me anymore. And it's like behind the desk, we just laugh about that. In my head at the time, it was funny, but not so much anymore. But
Yeah, well,
that's how I met Stacy, though. Totally no fear. Boom.
you just approach life with this like no fear attitude.
Well, the only time you lose is when you don't do it. You know what I mean? The only time if I was to hit on you at the gym or whatever I'm going for, the only time I lose is when I don't do it. If I'm too scared and I don't talk to you, then if I go up and talk to you and you say no or ignore me or just do pleasantries or whatever, I can't control that. I can only control what I do.
Mm,
and
that's true.
what my intentions are. And like the guy who I told you the other day who I hit on, and he's like, I'm really flattered, but I'm leaving for Denver tomorrow. And either he left for Denver or joined another gym, one of the two. But and then my friends are like, oh, that's too bad. And I'm like, no, I tried, I went for it, and he left town.
Yeah, what I also like about that story, because that story goes back a little bit further, is that um you you took the fear or the uncomfortableness you had in the first moment and you
Yeah.
reframed it.
Yeah, when he'd been a gym crush for a long time, and I saw him out at a club, and I went. And when I'm in a club, I'll talk to anybody. I have a great time. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. There's other people to talk to or flirt around with. And I went up. I started talking to him, and every freaking insecurity in my entire life just took over my whole body. And two sentences
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, "Get out of this! You got to leave this guy. You're making an ass out of yourself." Because I was like, seriously, I was one step away from, do you like stuff? I like stuff. And I think I actually,
Your hair is so pretty.
said, you're kind of cute. I go, oh. And so then I went up and talked to him at the gym, and I said, hey, and I said, it was really funny. I got just insecure. And he's like, how is that funny? And I'm like, because it's not me. It just overwhelmed me from my past and everything. And then he laughed and he got it. And then he told me he was leaving town.
So take me back a little bit. You were talking earlier about your growing up scared or insecure, and
Right.
when you were coming out, how did you get to the place where you were approaching life with a little more confidence?
That's a really good question. I was thinking about that the other day. And I'm not really sure how it happened. I didn't come out till late. I didn't come out till like 34.
Oh,
And all my friends were like, Jeff, the only person who doesn't know you're gay is you. So, and then, it was a very different time. I think that was like maybe, let's see, That must have been 94. So, this is pre cell phone, pre internet, neighborhood bar kind of thing, and hanging out with your friends and just trying to figure everything out on a very grassroots level. Uh,
What was the delay for you in coming out?
um, Maybe fear, maybe shame, because I
Hmm.
wasn't having sex with men. I was almost like non-sexual. It just didn't interest me. Um, and you know
Well,
me
that's wow.
now. I know,
Yeah.
know, making up for lost time. Hey, my little dog's right here. She's baby girl. Uh, yeah, I wish I could tell you. There's things I can remember. There's things I can. Uh, I just don't remember. I really don't. I really don't remember coming out. I know that's kind of weird. I just feel like now, like I've
Hmm.
always been out. Like my dog. I've had my dog for 5 years. I feel like I've always had her. I don't remember a time I didn't
Yeah.
have her. So I don't remember a time not being out.
Okay, so you came out in your early 30s,
30s. Yeah, my mom had also passed
and
away, so that I think that triggered it a lot.
oh, yeah, a little more freedom in your life or a
No,
feeling of
actually,
like,
a little more pain. The embarrassment, the ridicule that came from my father. My
hmm,
the love and the support came from my mother. See, that's the one thing I regret. I never gave my mother the chance to support me,
hmm,
be herself. I never, I never gave her. You
hmm.
know, I'm sure she knew. I'm sure she wanted to be there and be supportive, but I never gave her the chance.
And does that still, I mean, you say it's a regret, but
I wouldn't say it's so much as a
hmm,
regret as a ponderance, just like, what would have been different, what could have been different. Um,
sure. Okay, I get that. Yeah,
yeah. No, it's not that it would have
yeah.
made things better or worse. It just would have been different.
When did you start working at CBS?
I was there almost 25 years, and before that, I was at Fox. And I started over at Fox when Fox first started. I was I was an assistant in the promo department in the tape library, and Fox just got really big. CBS was doing really poorly. They were the Murder She Wrote, Diagnosis Murder, Dr. Quinn station, and Les Moonves took over and brought a lot of the executives over from Fox, and he slowly brought all of his key people. Every boss they took over took his key people over, and so I came over. And that was when CBS was in the toilet, and then he greenlighted CSI and Big Bang and Survivor and Amazing Race, and it was just fun to be there as it took off, and it was a super super fun place to work then. I mean, it was really a great family unit.
While you were working there, were you getting into fitness at that time?
Yeah, that kind of started. It's really funny because you realize when you're a scared gay kid getting picked on all the time, if you put some size on,
Yeah,
people don't pick on you so much. And I've
that's
been
true.
told I'm intimidating, which I don't see. I don't see. I have guys at the gym go, "We wanted to come up and talk to you, but you're very intimidating." I'm like, and
I
I
could
have
see it.
Firebird season tickets, and our row concierge, Lisa, she said, every time because we wear flannel and stuff, we call ourselves lumber snacks, and she's like, every time I see you, I think you're straight, and then you talk. Anyway, no.
It's funny.
So
I don't think that every time I see you.
also, one of the reasons I got into fitness is I grew up on my mom's side of the family was very dysfunctional. A lot of passive aggressive behavior. Um, one sister mad at each other, blah blah blah. My youngest sister, 10 years younger than me, she's now a vascular imagist. She's in the medical field. She discovered and did a lot of research on Prozac and Zoloft and all that stuff, and got my family to
Wow.
take that. And it this was when that all came out, and it totally changed my family. Totally changed my family. I tried taking Prozac, and I just kind of sat around and did nothing. And so I was reading that 1 hour of working out and sweating puts off the same dopamine in the mind as taking a Prozac does. So that's what got me into it. There'll be times I'll go home, stay at my sister's house. We'll be talking in the morning, and she goes, "Have you gone for a run yet?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "I'm not talking to you to go for a run. Get a run, and then we can talk." So yeah, so
That's
totally the dopamine receptors really, really changed everything.
is that before you moved to Palm Springs?
Oh yeah, I've only been here 5 years. That was like
Oh,
20 years
okay.
ago. That was like 20 years ago. So
But you weren't personal training
no,
before you
no,
came to
no.
Palm
I didn't
Springs.
start personal training till 4 years ago. Till 4 years
Okay.
ago, yeah. When I left CBS, which to be honest with you, the last 5 years, last 3 to 5 years at CBS and at in LA, I was not happy. Everything had changed so much. It was not a place for me anymore. So, getting laid off and getting a severance package really allowed me to come out here because I grew up in a small town in Oregon, a small farm town called Albany. And so small town fits me more than big city. 30 years in LA, got to tell you, never felt like I fit in. And I've heard a lot of people say that. LA is kind
Hmm.
of like a town of tens looking for an 11. Everybody's trying to trade up. When I moved out here, so many people were willing to help me on so many levels. Where in LA, I'm generalizing, but it's almost like everybody's afraid you're going to get ahead of them, so they don't want to help you. Out here,
Yeah, you don't get that feeling here.
no,
I
everybody.
totally
Oh my
agree.
God, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, Ted and Jeremy and there was one other trainer
Hmm.
at the gym who just were so supportive, just really encouraging me, just really to to go. And as a way to segue into mindset, the hopefully I remember to come back to this point. But I read one place that you create your own luck by
Hmm.
having a positive outlook and putting yourself in new situations. So I'm always looking for things like that. And I was very jealous of Jeremy and Ted because I had like, a handful of clients and they were booked. And then I read or came to an understanding that celebrate other people's success. Don't be envious of them, celebrate their success. And so I did celebrate their success. And I'd say within a month, I was full. I changed that
Wow.
mindset. And now, not to brag, but either it was Ted or Jeremy, one of the two said, or maybe it was Stephen Michael said, we've never seen anybody become so successful so fast in the personal training industry. And I think that's because I take a really personal, hands-on interest in my clients. I want them to lead a happier, healthier life. I don't want them to get on the scale. I don't want them to judge themselves like that. I want to judge them on their insides, how they feel that they're doing, how they feel, do they feel more positive, feel more up? Oh, I can tell you a story. I'm going to cry. So I work in another gym called Muscle Force, and I have this client. And she was older, probably in her 60s, New York Italian. And we had gone to Disneyland the day before. So I'd only gotten like 3 hours of sleep. 3 hours of sleep. And I was training her. And she goes, Jeff, you're always asking me how I'm feeling. You're always asking me how I'm doing after our sessions. And I want to tell you, when I'm done working out with you, I feel so good, I forget that I have cancer.
Mm. Oh my God.
I'm like, great. Good for you. And and then I get on the phone with my friend Aaron, and I'm just like just crying. You never
That is
know.
so beautiful, though.
I know you
Wow.
never know the impact you have on people's lives. Sometimes
That's
just the
true.
simplest thing, and
Yeah.
it can change their whole day. It can change their whole day.
You said something to me, gosh, it's probably been a year or so now. You said Palm Springs allows you to become the person you want to be.
There's so much opportunity out here, and I've talked to a couple other people that have moved out here in the last couple years from LA. There's something about Palm Springs. We're like in a bubble. If you allow yourself to tap into it, it's this big, energetic, optimistic bubble where you can do anything.
Yes.
3 years in a row, I danced on the main stage at Pride with Stephen Michaels. Now, I worked my ass off, and after a lot of practices, I cried with Tracy. Tracy and I said, "It's so hard, we can't do it." But I said, "I'm not giving up." And now, me and my best friend Todd, we're learning to play hockey. You know, we're learning to play
I
hockey.
saw.
Ice,
Wow, that's really cool.
yeah, ice
I didn't
hockey.
know that.
We've been doing that. We went. We have Firebird season tickets, and we went one time early because there was a big gay North American tournament out here. So we went a couple hours early to watch them before the game, and these guys came up to us and said, "Hey, do you guys want to play hockey?" And we said, "Well, we have one problem: we don't know how to skate." So we got some skates and we started taking lessons, and that's our Saturday now. Is like it's like what I don't know if you call it hockey, but it's something. People are like, "Be
Jeff,
careful, the
that's
puck, it goes
awesome.
really fast. It's going to break your teeth." I'm like, most of the time the puck is by itself, and we're trying to get to
The puck is like way over there.
it. Todd always goes, we go swish, 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 starfish, get back, swish, swish, starfish. If I was in LA, never would have danced with Pride. Never would have learned to play hockey.
Hmm.
You know, never would have met a lot of people that I met when I'm out here. People are just more open, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I've have found that as well,
Yeah.
and it totally surprised me. And I've had this conversation with a number of people now because I was never a I want to live in Palm Springs person, and it is not at all what I thought it was going to be.
No, sometimes,
The
and you get bogged down in your life. I'll be thinking about my schedule and what I got to do and my dog and blah, blah,
Sure,
bills and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm driving, toward the mountain on Ramon, and you just see the mountain
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and the palm
it's
trees. And
beautiful.
like, this is my life. This is my life.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
cool. I like it.
How comfortable are you talking about your journey to sobriety?
Oh, super comfortable. I'm in August, I'll be 22 years sober. Right now, I'm 22 years sober off alcohol. That was in February. August will be 22 years off meth. Yeah. 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 What do you want to trust me?
Well, I want to know
What do you want to know?
what prompted getting sober.
Oh, I didn't have a choice. I was doing so much meth, I went blind. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. When your body naturally does a million things every day to protect yourself. I had depleted my eye ducts, which allowed an amoeba to get into my cornea, retina or cornea or something, and start eating away at it. And I kind of became a test study because a lot of doctors hadn't seen this in 100 years. And was taking some steroid eye drops that could go either way. I could have lost my sight or I could get it back. And obviously I got it back. So that was
wow.
it was as I will say to my sponsor, I'll go, I wonder how much longer I could have kept doing meth if I hadn't gone blind. And he's like, but you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. I was a big meth addict. But and
And how has that shaped your life though?
well, that's
Like,
the weird thing. So I'm talking to my friend Todd again, and all the work that I've done on myself has come through the 12 steps, and
okay.
the principles and the promises of AA or CMA. It's a great program designed by Jung with the help, Bill W. and those guys. They got Carl Jung to help them do the steps. It really is a great design for living for almost anybody to take an inventory of your life, to promptly admit when you're wrong, to, find out what your character defects are, which mine are self-righteous anger, procrastination, and character assassination. Um, those were three of my big ones, and that's what I worked through. So it's funny because if I hadn't become a drug addict, would I be the person I am today? And I'm really proud of who I am today.
Oh,
But I'm that way because I crashed on crystal meth. What would my
you're
life?
thinking that maybe you wouldn't have gone through the same processes to discover who you
Sometimes
are.
it feels like my life is better because I was a drug addict.
Hmm.
Because I did the drugs and everything to either stop the feelings or to feel better. That would be my guess. I mean, I'm no, shrink, but that'd be my guess. But yeah, so uh, and then when you get to 22, I think probably when you get past 15, you know, I have alcohol in the house. I go to party. You just change your life because somebody said to me one time, it's not about not drinking and using. It's about creating a life where drinking and using are not an option. So
Wait, say that again.
it's
Where
not
it's
about not
not an
drinking and
option.
using. It's about creating a life where drinking and using are not an option.
Okay.
So that's what I did. And you do things like my friends want to go to arenas. I go there right when they start. Right when they start. When they start getting messy, I leave. I can't go out when they've already been out. And when they're already messy, I can't. But I'm controlling myself. Nobody's going to make me drink. Nobody's going to make me use. That's all on me if it ever happens. I can't promise that it's not
And
ever going to, but I have a pretty good feeling.
and do you think fitness has strengthened that?
Oh yeah, it's just another addiction. It's just
True. That's true.
it's just
Yes.
another
Yeah.
addiction, but a healthier one. I mean, you can take it to probably unhealthy ends, but no, it's totally uh uh yeah. I mean, you can go to the dark side with steroids or kind of overdo it a little bit, maybe on creatine and protein and all that kind of stuff. But I think if you find a healthy balance, like with anything, it can be a really positive experience.
One of the things that I'm actually, as your friend, I'm really proud of you is that you have taken on deaf clients
Yes.
and gone as far as learning sign language to communicate with them.
Hmm.
And that is, what did you just say?
What did I tell you to do when I go, fuck,
Like,
I'm a beast. And you go, bitch, calm down.
oh, that's right. Bitch, calm down. We'll do the rest of this interview in sign language.
We could try. Yeah.
No, I'm actually, I tell Derek this, I think it is so cool when I see you at the gym with your deaf clients because you are one, you're opening up something for them
Yeah.
and you're expanding your uh, repertoire, your abilities.
Well, it's also kind of educating other people because in learning more about deaf society, people always see being deaf as a disability, which it is not. Sign language,
Mm.
American Sign Language is its own language. They have their own culture. They have their own way of doing things. I have a friend that teaches sign language out in San Diego, and he said that if you were to offer a deaf person a pill and they wouldn't be deaf anymore, most would not take it because this is their world. This is what they know. This is what they love. And when you watch somebody who does sign language, it's amazing because it's not just the hands. There's this one guy who said, American Sign Language is not English. Okay. It's English in your hands because they use their face, they use their body, they use expression, they use emotion. It's like this beautiful ballet when you're watching people talk to each other in sign language. It's really cool. It's really, really cool.
Do you know? I don't know this. Is sign language international?
No,
Is it the same everywhere?
no, 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 no. It's really funny because I was training one of my clients, and this guy was working out and said, "Are you doing America? Are you doing ASL?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "There should be one universal sign language throughout the world." And I'm like, "Oh, that's good." I don't want to. I'm with my client. I wasn't saying anything, but I'm just like, "Yeah," because you know what? Deafness just started right now. Just started right now. There haven't been deaf people for hundreds and hundreds of years. When languages started in different places of the world, there was no deaf people. So now there is. So let's make one language. No, it's like
Yeah,
saying
it
we
all started right here in America.
just started right here. It's like saying we need one universal language. No, there's been deaf people since the beginning of time, and they all have.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know if sign language was just one sign language internationally.
Not that I'm aware of. I'm starting to hear of different ones, of universal ones that have started that people are using,
Hmm.
but most people, there's a great guy on Instagram called Deaf Chef, and he gets on and he goes, what is your sign for, and he'll spell out chocolate, and then it'll go Latin America, chocolate. This is chocolate in English, and this is chocolate in Britain. I said this is chocolate in Latin America. It's kind of cool. So they'll have like 6 or 8, like China, Russia, what their sign language is for it.
That is cool.
It's super fun. It's super fun.
He's called, what is he called? The Deaf
Deaf
Chef?
chef. Deaf chef. And he's
Okay.
this really great chef that works in this high-end restaurant. And they ask him how it does. And the head chef, like Gordon Ramsay, has a laser pointer, puts things up. He's really good. He's really
Oh, I'm
good.
going to have to check that out.
He's also, I think he also has opened up some deaf restaurants for deaf, that cater primarily to deaf clientele.
Hockey is cool. You actually introduced me to hockey.
Yeah, when you went that. So now the thing is, when you get out there on the ice, so I have to correct myself if anybody's still going to be watching at this point. But I'll go like, hey, I got to go because we're all tough. Hey, we got hockey practice this afternoon, and somebody go, aren't you just learning to skate? And I'm like, that's part of hockey. So yeah. So
Actually, it is part of hockey.
it is part of hockey.
It's
But
like a big part.
once you've been out there for a while skating, and then you watch those guys play, you're just like, as you have a whole new level of respect for that game. It's just crazy that they do all this on ice. They do all this on ice. They go like 35 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. The puck goes 100 miles an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's also kind of hot.
Super hot.
Hockey is kind of hot.
Okay, so you haven't seen where our new seats are, but we call attack alley, which is just off the net, 2 rows back on the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we do. Hey, number 19, do you like stuff? I like stuff.
The other thing I kind of love about, and I don't know if this is specific to the Firebirds, but they seem super gay friendly.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I know it definitely is the Firebirds. They are very, very, very gay friendly, and they've had prides. They have a float in the Gay Pride Parade here. Their crosswalk at the stadium is rainbow, and they get shit for it, and they tell people just shut up. It's not changing. It's not changing at all. In fact, there are of the amateur leagues that play there, I think 3 or 4 of the teams are gay. And then, of course, they host the North American Gay Tournament. There's these little like that. We're trying to play for the Bighorns. They're gay. I think the Roadrunners are gay. There's a Blaze and the Oingo Poingo. I'm pretty sure they're gay. I know these names. They're like mythical creatures.
Oingo.
I think it's Oingo Poingo. I'm not really some mythical creature. It's up on the scoreboard. We try to pronounce it. We're not really sure we got it. But yeah, they're very inclusive. Very inclusive.
Now that you've been in Palm Springs, you said what, 5 years?
And I'm coming up on 5 years in June.
What is the most surprising and meaningful part about building this community?
That I'm able to do it.
That surprises you?
Again, coming from LA, yeah. Coming from LA, yeah. That I'm able to do it. That it's not all sunshine and roses. There's some things that happen, but all in all, I always seem to get pushed in the right direction. I always seem to be right exactly where I'm supposed to be. I was talking to Todd the other day, and I said, everything feels one step off right now. Like I'm a half step off on everything, yet it feels like it's exactly as it's supposed to be.
What do you mean by half step?
Like, do you ever just feel like you're just not quite clicking with everything? You're trying to get into a rhythm. And everything just seems to be off a little bit. And yet, with everything being off, it feels like right now, that's how it's supposed to be. Sometimes you got to sit back and relax and let the universe line everything up. You
Which
can't
is
force,
hard.
you can't force it.
That
You got to let it line everything up so that it can work. And you have to do your part. You have to keep moving forward. You have to keep making stuff. It's not just going to show up at your front door, but you put out that positive energy. You put out that, I can't tell you how many times I've been doing something and gone, holy crap. 2 years ago, I asked for this. 2 years ago, I asked for
hmm.
this, and now it's happening.
Well, the thing too is being able to recognize it, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think that's hard for people sometimes to, like you just said, sometimes you just need to sit down
and just
and look
relax.
and just relax. And in those moments, you can sort of recognize all the great things that have happened to you, all the positive things that have happened, instead of focusing on some of the negative things that feel bigger, but really aren't.
Yeah, we seem to think of negative. Like they always say, if you ask somebody to think of a high school or elementary school, memory, they'll think of something negative before they think of something positive. It's just how our brain operates.
Oh,
Our brain seems to not be our best friend a lot of times. It makes up scenarios. It makes us. If with most people, I can tell you, with me, if you were to see somebody talking to somebody the way that you talk to yourself, sometimes you'd step in and go, and
yeah.
stop it. You would stop it. So uh, a lot of times out here, it's just overcoming that negative thoughts in your head, and you do that. For me, like I got for me, I get that by staying in gratitude. I have to stay in gratitude. I have to be thankful. I can't take everything for granted. I have to be grateful for what I have and I always ask what I can do to pay it forward to make somebody else's life better. And sometimes, it can be at the stadium, an elderly man whose family let him go to the bathroom by himself and he can't figure out the towel dispenser and he's freaking out and it's so simple and yet it changes his life.
Yeah, I it is simple to just step in
Yeah.
and make someone's life better. I think a lot of people are afraid to do that.
It's understandable. It's understandable. There's a lot of fear around it. You don't, you get afraid. Are you doing the right thing? Are you doing the wrong thing? And you just kind of know. It's just a simple
Yeah.
gesture. It's just a simple gesture. I used to be
And
afraid.
it's also, you're giving the other person the opportunity to say, no, I don't need any help,
Right.
or thank you for offering.
Right. And I've had that before. I've thought somebody was struggling with something. Oh, hey, can I help you? And they go, no, I'm fine. Okay. You don't press it. You don't press it. You just let it go. And sometimes
Yeah.
they need help. They can't, carry all their bags or
Right.
whatever might be going on.
Right.
Yeah.
For someone listening who feels stuck and unsure about making a big life decision or change, what would you say to them?
Wow. I know, it's kind of funny. Mine just kind of happened. I was a little lucky in mine because CBS gave me a nice severance package that took me through, almost a year to figure out what I wanted to do. So and then it was the same cousin who said, in the last 3 to 5 years, I was so unhappy in LA. The only time I was happy was in
Mm.
my HIT classes, was in my boot camp classes. That was 1 hour in the morning when I was with my friends and I had a blast. She said, why don't you become certified? And that's when I got a job behind the desk at the gym before I became certified. And I worked behind the desk at Steel or World at the time I've been there 4 years now. They just celebrated my 4-year anniversary behind working there. So I've
At
been doing
Steel
my
Gym?
classes now for 3 years. I've been personal training now for 3 years, and I worked behind the desk for 4 years. And you know that working behind that desk there is like no other place in the world.
Yes.
God, we don't have an HR. God, we don't have it. Well, Stephen Michael is HR, so there you go. Boom.
um,
Close the door.
to step back a little, CBS
Yeah,
gave you the life that you have today.
that's true. That's why I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. In the CBS Viacom merger, as in most of Hollywood, people are losing their jobs right and left. And I get emails and texts and stuff that people ask me how I did it. How'd you do it? You're so happy. You're so this. You're so that. How did you do it? And it's tough for me to say. I know what was my journey. I know what I did for myself, what I wanted to do. It's easy to say, find what you love and do that. Um, but it's not always that easy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You just because you love doing something doesn't mean, or just because I love doing something doesn't mean I want to make money at it. It's something I love doing. I don't want to make it my job. Whereas in fitness and personal training, that's just a joy. That's just a freaking joy.
Well, and you have that skill level of marketing and promotion
I
that
do.
you can
I
apply
do.
to
You saw the
fitness. And
t-shirts. That was part of it. I've seen other trainers'
Mhm.
t-shirts that are very confusing to read. Mine is very simple. It's a great t-shirt, but it's also great advertising.
Yeah, show the back,
Oh yeah.
the beast.
So this is my logo, uh, my name and everything. And then, oh my God, he's old. Can you see it? What am I doing?
Lower. Beast, 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 B-A beast. Fitnesscoachps.com.
Yeah, and they feel
I love
great.
it.
They don't shrink. They did. I'll tell you, Desert Promotions did an insane job for me. They really did it, and this material is great. It doesn't shrink. It's a really really nice product.
They are super comfortable.
They really are. I think either Aaron or Stephen Michael are going to take some pictures. We're going to put them up because I've been getting people seeing them online of go, hey, can you send me one? Can you send me one? I'm like, yeah, I've just been sending them out, but I don't know if we'll sell them or we'll see where it goes from here. It's just, you never know. It was just something fun to do that might turn into something else.
Sure. How many different gyms do you train at?
Just two. Actually, yeah, just two. Muscle Force, which is a private one over on Talkwoods by Coffee, and then at Steel.
Yeah. You've been kind of a influence for me at the gym because one, you've been really helpful when it comes to working out with just little pointers here and there, which I really appreciated.
Not too obnoxious.
Well, I mean, I know you and I don't really take it that way. I don't take your, I don't know. I don't take your personality in any sort of negative way
Cool.
because I think you're fun and funny. And I also think you have this approach to life that is very infectious and like it's, you're all you want to do is bring in positive, influence.
Most of the
And
time.
I don't, yeah, I don't see anything negative about you at all.
Well, hang around me more because it's there. Just might not see it, but it's there. But I work.
No, one of the things
I see things. I see things in me that I don't like, and I work on it. And
that's what I love about you because you're always looking at yourself thinking, how can I be a better person? And I think that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. That's what I like. I never want to stop growing. There's one guy that I'm dating who he's a doctor. He is not happy that I'm playing hockey at all. At all. He's like, he thinks it's stupid. He's like, if you break a leg, how are you going to train your clients? And I'm like, well, I just tell people what to do.
Coming from the perspective of a doctor, I guess.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
which I get, but I'm not going to not do something I want to do out of fear that something might happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get, yeah.
And the people that we have met at the ice rink have been amazing from all walks of life. And they've all been very positive. They've all been very helpful, giving us great pointers, and some of them being very patient, as sometimes it's taken me a little while to learn a couple things. But
Is it a whole age range of people that
oh
are
yeah, you
learning
should
to
have
play?
seen before our practice Friday night at 7. We went there and there was the 7 to 14-year-olds were practicing. Oh my God. These 7-year-olds have no fear. They're flying down the ice. They're not even thinking about it. They're just hitting it. They're just going. We're like, oh my God, they could kill us. They could
Oh
kill
my
us.
God.
And they're not more than 3 feet tall, I swear to God. And they're flying. They're just having the best time. Yeah, it's all
Uh,
age ranges, all age ranges, and all And when we're out there too, sometimes they divide up the ice, and you have hockey, and you have learning to skate, and you have figure skating, and all this different stuff. Uh,
oh,
tennis
wow.
classes.
This is at the Firebirds
Yeah.
Arena?
Yeah, so where the arena is, when you go in there, attached to it, you walk right into the Burger Ice Complex, and there's another rink in there,
Oh,
and that's where all the practice, that's where all the public practices, public skate, hockey, amateur hockey games. That's where they all take place. It's a regulation rink.
oh, that's, I didn't even know that
Yeah,
was
it's
going on.
amazing too about how it's only been there 3 years, and just how popular it is, how popular hockey is out here in the desert.
I know.
These kids
I,
love it.
yeah, I was kind of surprised, that they were building a ice hockey rink here in the middle of the desert, but it has taken off.
It has united the valley.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice people. Really, really nice people doing it. And and lacing up your boots is the biggest pain in the ass in the world. And we'll see moms doing it for their kids, and we're like, you better appreciate that now, because when that goes away, lacing up your boots sucks. I'm always out of breath when I'm done. So you got to get it really, really tight. You got to protect your ankles and stuff. And it's just,
Mm.
I like need a nap after I put my boots on.
I wanted to go back to when you were coming out.
Okay.
Do you remember your first sexual encounter?
I had sex with some of my fraternity brothers in college. It wasn't really nothing. Do I remember my first sexual encounter? I wish I could remember my first sexual encounter, but a lot of it was because this is back in the WeHo days before cell phones and stuff like that. When Revolver, I don't know if you live in LA, but there was a bar called Revolver, and it was the coolest neighborhood bar. It was a video bar. That's where everybody went. There was a huge long line, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
a cool neighborhood bar. And mainly, I would get drunk, and then things would happen in the bushes or the parking lot. Or it seemed like everybody always lived really close to the bar too. It's interesting now that I think about it.
Everyone walked.
Everybody lived on the pier. I don't think there's an apartment building on the pier that I haven't been in.
Hmm.
Yeah, the other day, about a year or two ago, I was driving through West Hollywood. I rarely go to LA now, and I was just like, all these flashbacks of, oh, that park bench, oh, that bush, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. I guess it was a pretty good time.
How old were you when that happened? How
Yeah,
old were you?
I came out right after that, so it probably was early 30s.
That was your springboard.
It kind of was. And now, if you look at me now, it's like, you know, I'm just saying. And and I seem to have the perfect relationship that I don't think he's ever going to see this, so I could say that. So, because sometimes when I first went on a date with, who I'm talking about, um,
Yeah.
uh, he said if he ever got in a relationship again, it would be an open relationship. It has to be an open relationship. So we've always had an open relationship. But when he asks me questions, he kind of gets a little jealous. Like, I don't think he's ever been in an open relationship. I think he wants
Mm.
one, but I'm kind of having to guide him through what that means. At the same time as, for lack of a word, protecting his feelings, not saying anything unintentionally to hurt him, because
Mm-hmm.
that's never my goal. My goal is to make him feel, um, loved and nurtured and cared for. And in fact, I even said to him one time, he spends half the year in another city, and I'm like, hey, you got another one of me in another city? You got one of me up there? That would make me super happy. If that made him happy, that would make me super happy. And he's like, no, I really don't have time. I just do hookups every now and then. I'm like, okay, you know,
I think I think the thing is that is not getting caught up in your feelings about. So, I mean, it's okay to have the feelings like, oh, I feel a little jealous that you did this or you spent time with this person or whatever. And I think it's okay to have those, but not to get caught up in them.
Right, right. Which is one of the reasons why I think, which is one of the reasons why I love him is when I first started dating him, I thought I knew what I wanted in a relationship, and I got a little jealous. I got a little head spinny, and and he stuck by me. He stuck by me and helped me work through all of it. And work through all of it. And now it's like such a better place. It's such a better place.
Hmm.
And if he says something, or if something happens that I take out of context, I can recognize right away that this is my head trying to spin something that's not happening, that's not real, and shut it down. And shut it
Do
down.
you talk with him about those things?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that's important.
When I feel I need to, like I don't need to, you know what I mean? Sometimes there's some people who tell you and you're just like, okay, I get it. But when I feel when I feel it's warranted, you don't need to, um, you don't need to always say everything that's on your mind. It doesn't always,
Right.
uh, if I feel a little shift in something that he said, then I'll ask him. I'll go, hey, were you okay with that? So I think he's a little bit jealous of my
Hmm.
of my relationship with my best friend too, because
Well, that's I kind of get that. I mean, it's when you're dating someone and they have a best friend who they tell everything to. I kind of get that. I mean, it's not that it's one is more important than the other. It's just that I think when you are in a relationship with someone, they sometimes want that same level of connectedness that you have with someone else that's so special in your life.
yeah, and it's the same, but it's different. I mean, with Todd I've known for 15 years, and then we were just like fringe friends, and then we were part of this group of friends. And what about 2 years ago, he was diagnosed with cancer, and it's
Hmm.
surprising when you have to start going through radiation and chemo, who stays around and who doesn't. You know what I mean? It's some people can't handle it, and I don't think ill of those people at all. Cancer is a scary thing, a scary thing.
Hmm.
So I would just stayed with him through that, and it just made this bond, and now we're playing hockey together. And because I would ask him, he would not eat. He was, I mean, you go through 6 weeks, 10 weeks of radiation and chemotherapy, and you're not eating. I would just ask him what he wanted. He said, I kind of want this, and I would make it. You know, and he's like, I'm not hungry, and then he'd eat half of it, and I'd feel so good.
My friend Wynn passed away in 2015 from cancer. And I remember him telling me that people just disappear.
Yeah, and you can't really blame those people. It's tough. It's tough. You never know how somebody's going to react to that kind of news.
Yeah.
There would be times I'd be texting with Todd, and there was one time we were texting, and he was asking me something, and I wasn't understanding it, and he was getting really frustrated, and he started yelling at me. I can't talk to you when you're this manic. You need to calm down. I'm not talking to you tomorrow. And I'm like, Todd, I'm in a good mood. Everything's fine. What's going on? And I'm like, fucker's going through chemo. He can yell at me all
Yeah.
he wants. He can yell at me and accuse me and fucking berate me all he wants. I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah.
To be filled with a poison and to be shot with radiation every frickin' day.
Yeah. And that constant feeling of sickness.
Yeah,
It's
and just not knowing, just not being able to. Sometimes even when you're sick, when you're regularly sick, there's always one thing you can gravitate on, like I'm just going to rest or I'm going to do this or that. But when you're going through all that shit, what do you focus on? How do you? What's that one thing that you do
mm,
that makes you feel normal when your whole body is just being destroyed?
yeah. That would be tough.
Yeah. So he could
I
yell at
wouldn't.
me all he wants. And then the next day,
Sure.
we'd be talking. I wouldn't even bring it up. No reason to.
So I told you this would only be an hour. We're at the hour mark, and I have a final question.
Oh, Lord, Final Jeopardy.
Final question. If you could go back to give the young you a very gay pep talk, what would you say? And would they even believe you?
Okay, here's the weird thing. Here's the weird thing, and I don't know if I'm going to answer your question. Hopefully, it's on the line of that. There's a lot of things I am now as the person I am now that I wish I would have done. I wish I would have joined the Marines. I wish I would have played football. The person I was back then couldn't have even handled it, let alone couldn't even handle going to a football
Hmm.
game, let alone playing football. Yet, all that stuff I went through back then made me the person I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I regret anything from the past that I wish I would have done differently? Sometimes. But yet, it made me this guy today, which I really like. So, had I joined the Marines as a gay man, had I played football, would I be this guy today? Would I be a better guy? Would I be a worse guy? Would I be alive? I don't know. So, what would I tell that person? Just relax. You're going to be a fucking hottie. You're going to be a fucking, believe me,
Yeah,
it's all
I
going to
think
come
that's
together. You're
it. All gets
relax,
better.
go through it all because you are going to be fucking smoking and you will be able to
I
take the shots.
I agree with you about regrets. I have, of course, there are things in my life I think, oh, I would probably have done that differently or not got involved with that person or blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, I 1,000% agree with you. If I hadn't done those things, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I absolutely fucking love where I am today.
Exactly. It's like high school was tough. I had some great friends that are still friends today, but there was a lot of peer pressure, a lot of taunting, blah blah blah.
Sure.
Some of those people that had a lot of stuff handed to them didn't know how to handle the real world. Like they peaked at, I think you probably know some too who peaked in high school.
Yeah.
They peaked
Yeah.
in high school where we had to really fight for everything we wanted. So when we got out of the real
Mm-hmm.
world, we knew how to make things happen because we had to survive.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You're a smart man, Jeff. I
I
love
do
you.
every now and then. We'll see. We'll see. Talk to me next week. We'll see how it goes from there. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Everything feels like it's exactly where it's supposed to be.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well, thank you, David. I was really happy that you asked me to do this. I hope it turned out to be what you wanted.
It is better than what I wanted. So thank you.
Yeah, in AA meetings, I'm a pretty good speaker because I think of like the first two paragraphs of what I want to say, and then I just speak from the heart. You speak from the heart, people hear from the heart.
That's good advice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
That was my friend, Jeff Hinkle. If there's one thing to take away from Jeff's story, it's that becoming yourself is rarely a straight line. It's a stumble and it's a skate across the ice. And literally, he's learning how to skate. So it is a skate across the ice. I love him. He makes me laugh every day. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did having it with him. Thanks for listening. Find me on Blue Sky or Substack at David Begor. Until next time, be bold, be free, be you. I'm David Begor, and this has been Friends, Loves, and Life.